Hi, good morning. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Is it still morning there?
It's like lunchtime. I'm still drinking coffee, so my brain still thinks it's morning. Okay. This is the Nomi podcast. Hi, welcome. Welcome.
Yeah, hi. I forgot to do that in the last episode.
It's okay. We'll just throw it in there. It's fine. Yeah. Hi, I'm Lindsay.
Oh, I'm Normandie. Oh, we're being so formal. It's smart. That's smart. Let's do it that way.
Okay. We shall do it that way.
Hit me with a question.
Yeah, we kind of had this idea to use this game. It's called We're Not Really Strangers, and it's kind of a get to know you game or get to know you on a deeper level. And since we're a newer podcast, we thought it would be really interesting to kind of try to start the show every week with a new question so you guys can get to know us a little bit better. The card I pulled today, I think, is a perfect one. How would you describe me to a stranger?
That a perfect one? Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can. Normandie is an artist. She's also a professor and all around very smart, very creative person. She dresses so cool.
Like a 3-year-old.
I didn't want to say it, but you're not wrong. She dresses with abandon, okay?
Exactly. And that's what I love about the way that toddlers dress is, like, Ruby is so great about being like, yes, I'm wearing polka dot leggings with like a striped shirt with a unicorn on it with my crown and full glove set. And
it's true.
You know,
she's a style icon, I tell you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We're talking about my daughter, by the way, my 6-year-old who cares about no one's opinion and really does whatever she wants. And I aspire to live my life in London.
I know. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, even her baby pictures, she was like throwing shade, right? Like her immediate pictures of her, like with her.
Yes, that's the one I was thinking of.
With her little hands up, like ready to throw some punches.
And she's like a month old.
And I was just like, wow. Because I remember like when she was born, I was like, interesting. But now, like looking back and who she is now, I'm like, oh yeah, that was completely consistent with Ruby's, like her just constant, like judging everyone, but like in a great way. I think she's so funny. I mean, she might have to be curbed a little bit at some point, but she's a sweetie.
I definitely have to talk with her a little bit more than Lily about manners. Because sometimes she'll just do things and I'm like, that's not nice. Like, what are you doing?
And she's like, Mom, it's called throwing shade. She's so funny. Anyways, question is, how do you describe someone? Well, if we were like, well, let's just describe her because she's so cool. I mean, yeah, I think I usually say like rock and roll star. Like, yeah, I think so. I just think like great style.
Oh my gosh.
Really funny.
As I sit here in my oversized band shirt and shorts, which is
like totally cool and in, but then it's like you got like your super cool glasses and like the hair. I think it's all on point. On point.
Thanks.
Oh man, I just want to say yeet, and then all I can think of is I don't know. Is that giving too much away? Can people find your island if they know the name?
Yeah, but it's always closed. Like I don't let people
Not randos.
and come to my Animal Crossing island. Okay, I've put over 300 hours worth of work into that.
It is my paradise.
Really though.
But yeah, that just cracks me up that is your Animal Crossing island name. Is so funny to me.
I mean,
I did have a student the other day during our final critique be like, yeah, I just see that like that one character is like yeeting the other character, and I was just like, like Gen Z. They're just Gen Z-ing all over the place.
It just reminds me of it reminds me so much of Nikaylee.
Yeah.
That word. And so it just reminds me of like happy memories, so I like to use it.
That's good. I didn't realize that it was more commemorative.
Yeah.
Well, now that makes me feel completely different about it.
Okay.
I think in a good way.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, cool. So on to the topic. Today's topic. Did you ever watch, you probably have not seen this because it's a little bit of a deep cut, but SNL has this skit called The Girlfriends Talk Show. And it's A.D. Bryant and Cecily Strong. And the one will be like, sorry, now I'm just only describing the skit because it's funny to me. It's basically we're doing that same thing.
Okay.
That's
what
I feel.
You got the idea.
They're like girlfriends talk show. But then always the one friend changes the topic. So then one friend will be like, we talked about something else. And she's like, yeah, but I changed it. Anyways, long story short, the intro or the topic for today is shopping, clothing and brands.
And personal style.
Personal style. That's right.
That's
I didn't focus on that part in the notes, but we can just wing that part.
Yeah. Well, we already talked a little bit about your personal style, and your personal style is really just whatever the hell you want, which I think is great.
Yeah, and that also comes from, a lot of, we had a brief convo about this before, but just like having a non-socially normative body, like there's less options. So yeah, it kind of forces you either into creativity, wearing a potato sack, like, there's just, it gets really kind of difficult. So I think my reaction to having limited options has been like, okay, well then I'm going to wear something that's eccentric or just something that makes me feel comfortable. I think there were so many years where I was like, man, I wish that I could be that person that could just get up and like throw something on, but that was never really an option for me because like I had to figure out an outfit that like I wasn't falling apart in. Mm-hmm. And so then when I found this brand that now is like basically my entire closet, which is Lazy Oaf, like once I started wearing their clothes, I was like, oh, I can do that now. I can just like, I basically have my uniform now, which is just leggings and then a Lazy Oaf like t-shirt dress. And that's what I do. And yeah, I think it's something that a lot of people would be like, whoa, that's like a dress covered in hearts or a dress. I mean, there's a lot of pink involved, which I love.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but it's not just about like, oh, brand loyalty. I mean, I do love their brand a lot, but it's also just about like, well, show me another brand that really has like, plus size options that don't make you feel like a mom, like a frumpy mom.
Yeah. And there aren't very many. And if you try to look at the more, I guess, I don't want to say more youthful plus size brands, It's so you have the option of Torrid, which is typically overpriced. They do the same thing that I don't know if you've ever heard of the brand Eloquy.
Yes, I have.
So they both do this thing where everything is super overpriced, but then it's always on sale. So you think you're getting a deal, but it's still like super overpriced. Like you're still paying $40 for a t-shirt, you know? And then Torrid is also, correct me if I'm wrong, I'll look it up later, but I'm pretty sure they're owned by the same company that owns Hot Topic.
I think that's true.
Yeah, so they always have like weird stuff covered in skulls, or they do these like collections with like Disney. And I'm just like, dude, I don't want to wear a shirt with Mickey Mouse on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, it doesn't make that sense. And also the fits a lot of time are weird.
Yeah. I definitely feel like as much as like there's a gem every once in a while from Torrid.
For it though, for sure.
Yeah. I agree. And I think that again is like the frustrating part. It's like what brands really offer plus size clothing. And there's like Forever 21 and Torrid, which feels more like teenager stuff. And then it's like, well, there's a brand at Target and
there's Lane where you can dress like a businesswoman from 1999.
Right. So it's like, it's so hard to have personal style when it's like, great, there's 3 options. I do think we're starting to see a little bit more, like there is Anthropologie has started their new A plus size section. And I've heard recently that they're expanding it. But yeah, other than that, like,
yeah, I mean, there's definitely way more brands are doing a plus size collection. However, many of them do it so poorly. And because they do that thing where they're like, oh yeah, we made it bigger. We made the same thing bigger. And it's like, cool. Well, like the person wearing the size 2 is not going to have the same kind of general dimensions as a person like me who had 2 children. Like, my body is effed up, yo.
Yeah, there's just like more curves, like totally different things happening. So it's like you can't just take the same cut and make it larger.
Right. Well, like people carry their weight in so many different ways. They carry it more in their thighs and their butt. Me, I carry most of my weight in my lower stomach. We also have like this family thing genetically where we all have like chunkier arms. I get so freaking annoyed when I find something that is so cute and it fits me everywhere except in my arms. It makes me want to yeet something out the window.
Yeet. Oh man, and now that's just making me think of Timothy Chalamet and Pete Davidson. Yeah, 100%. I definitely have had to take a few dresses and adjust the sleeves. And that's the other thing is, like, I do love it Lazy Oaf, but like it works for me most when there's like a cotton jersey fabric and that's like really stretchy. But when they do, they're more just like straight cotton textiles or like linens and stuff. It's kind of like, this has no movement. And so then I have to actually change it. And not everybody knows how, has access to a sewing machine or knows how to use it, knows how to basically like tailor your own clothes.
I have a sewing machine. I don't know how to sew.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the other option is, and I've heard Mindy Kaling talk about this before too, that like the thing about like the secret to celebrity clothing is that it's all made like personally for your own body. Right. And so, there are tailors around usually like in like your local suburb or wherever that you could go and be like, oh, I need you to adjust that. But then it's like, okay, well, you're paying for the garment plus you're paying for separate tailoring. Right. So that's another thing. But one of the other brands that I was thinking of, brands that I follow and really like, Tuesday Basson, who actually like started as an illustrator and then created clothing lines based off of her characters, which is another reason why I think she's so cool. She's been very size inclusive, and she's also been really size inclusive with her models.
That's always nice.
Oh, okay. I was like not sure if you were frozen because you were so still.
Because I'm usually so wiggly. No, it's me up here. I'll just do this so you know I'm not frozen.
Yeah. So I do like her brand. The only thing is, like, again, it's like that's a really small brand, so she like focuses on specific cuts or like themes. So she's done a lot of kind of more like 50s. Like I know for one of her first collections, she was inspired by like the baseball outfits from that movie with Tom Hanks and the girls.
Madonna.
And Madonna, yes. You know what I'm talking about. Tom Hanks.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember the name.
A League of Their Own. Okay, so she was inspired by that movie, and then she's also been doing like 50s diner dresses. So I think they're really fun. That's not quite my style, so I haven't really like taken the plunge on anything.
Mm-hmm.
Big Bud Press. I mean, again, color, rainbow stuff, things that I like. I think they definitely have a more inclusive like sizing. Let's look at jumpsuits. I definitely thought about getting a jumpsuit because they're really fun.
I love the concept of a jumpsuit. I know that would look horrible on me. Like, I know I'd be super uncomfortable in it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I'm just like,
well, and I do think that a part of like plus size body positivity trend, like movements, is becoming more accepting of what a plus size body looks like in certain clothing.
Yeah, that's
and what we're kind of trained to be like, oh, that's ugly or that doesn't look good, is like, no, it looks different than it would on a size 2,
Yeah.
And I've definitely been having to change my brain as well. Like, okay, it's like, it's okay if somebody sees this, which we'll talk a little bit more about in our other body positivity episode. But I just shared a meme a couple weeks ago on Instagram where it's like, if you want a swimsuit body, put a swimsuit on your body. Now you have a swimsuit body. So definitely changing mentality.
Yeah, which is something I struggle with. I've gotten better. I've just reached that point of caring a lot less. But also, I really still don't like wearing like tight fitted things, especially right now because I just had surgery. My stomach's been a lot. Not only like do I carry a lot of weight in my stomach, but then I've been super inflamed and like swollen. And so like I felt super uncomfortable. Went to brother's wedding reception on Saturday, and I like had to put on a dress for the first time in Lord knows how long. And yeah, I was just like, I hate this. But then I was trying to have that moment of like, dude, you just had surgery. Who cares? Like, you're gonna be there for an hour and a half. They're all looking at the bride. They're not looking at you. Kind of going to our last episode. It's like, nobody cares as much as you do. Get over it.
Yeah. So, and I mean, I think it's like, it's okay to have all those feelings. It's okay to be like, I don't want to wear tight fitting clothes. Like, just because, it's just like, wear what you feel comfortable in. And if that's a sweatshirt, then like do that.
Yeah, no, my entire style right now is really based around what's comfortable for me. I basically live in oversized men's shirts because I'm not working right now. I'm always at home. And that's the other thing that I think I've struggled a lot with too, is that I was working in management for so long. So like more than half of my wardrobe is black slacks and like work blouses. And I'm just not going to wear that every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my style. Like half my closet isn't even my style. It's just the uniform I had to wear. And so now I'm much more like, I'm trying to kind of discover what my style is. I've definitely found that being comfortable is the most important thing. Loose fitting clothes is way more important to me, and just like feeling good in my own skin. And my focus in terms of style is much more on accessories. I love jewelry. I love my rings. Like I'm only wearing my wedding ring today, but usually I'm wearing at least 4. And I have my jewelry. I wear my piece of blue lace agate every day because I love it. It keeps me calm and like grounded. And my earrings. And I am hopefully within the next year gonna have my full sleeve done. So I just, I think people have their style and it goes one way or the other. For me, I think it's always been so much less about clothes. Like I would rather be covered in tattoos and wear a black t-shirt and jeans every day. It would be so much easier. So
yeah, you should do that.
That's my plan. And so, and a lot of it too just comes back to that fact that it's so hard for me to find clothes that I actually like. And I don't like buying from, stores like Target and H&M. Like I don't like contributing to fast fashion if I can help it, which is a really hard thing to stay away from because, maybe I should go full Gen Z and just like thrift everything. And that would probably be one of the best ways to contribute to to not contribute to fast fashion.
Yeah, to be more sustainable.
Yeah, but then it's like, do I really have time all the time when I need something to go and like dig through racks and racks and racks and racks? Now, because it is so popular and all these, hipster kids go in and just like rip the place apart. They all work there now too. I went to Savers the other day and there's like all these girls walking around in Doc Martens and I'm just like, oh. You guys take all the good stuff from the back before it even makes it out onto the floor.
Right. Yeah. No, I've had a few friends into thrifting. I don't have the patience for it.
Yeah.
It's not interesting, I guess, to me. And I had a friend that would get so frustrated with me. I think we like stopped being friends because I didn't want to go thrifting with her. Yeah.
I like thrifting. I do. Like I really like looking at home stuff because it's easier to look through. But the clothes, it's so intimidating.
Racks on racks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I would say that's probably it's another area I think where it's like, yes, I'm sure that there are plus size options, but there's probably not as many good ones where it's like, oh, it's the perfect fit. It's an interesting piece, or like
expressing yourself, or are you just going to be putting something on your body?
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't have that much experience with it to talk from. I'm sure there's probably other plus size thrifters who have more to say about that. Yeah, I'm sure it's an option, but it's definitely something that for me, I think in terms of sustainability, something that's more appealing to me is making my own clothes, because then I can tailor it to myself. I can think a lot about the fabrics that I want to use with, patterns, and also, just how it feels. So, and it's not easy, it takes a lot more time. And honestly, I don't save that much money because it's like, I want to use nice fabrics. So then I go to the fabric store and I still spend $100 on the fabric plus like the threads and buttons and, other things. So, but it's really fun for me. And I think it's also a way to feel creative. And sometimes I like what I make. Other times I'm like, eh. But I have some ideas posted on Instagram a few months ago about things I want to make. So that's what I'm going to do soon.
I believe you.
Yeah. And I'm going to make that dress for you too.
Oh, thanks.
The other thing I put down, because I realized I was like, I have some brands that I like, but a lot of the things that I look at are shoes because I have bad feet.
Same.
And also shoes are like, I think, a really fun way to play with fashion. So
they are for sure.
And yeah, I tend to be into things that are like totally clueless, like 90s platforms. Because they're fun and they also can be more comfortable and just like have a little bit more cushioning. Mm-hmm. So camper shoes has some really, really cool stuff. I mean, they're like a European brand, and definitely, so like, I think some people like hearing about what I shop for. Like, I definitely go for a quality over quantity approach. Like, I'm definitely spending more than probably what a lot of people are used to spending on shoes and clothes, but I'm only buying like that one or two things. And then, it's like I have like 5 staple dresses that I wear every day. And I just like have changed my mindset from, I have like 15 shirts that are going to fall apart,
Mm-hmm.
Which again, talking about fast fashion. I mean, I think we can also do another conversation all about fast fashion and sustainability.
Yeah, I think that would be a cool thing to bring to light, just because there's a lot more there than I think a lot of people realize.
And I think also in talking with some people, it's a lot more about convenience than it is necessarily not about knowing about it. It's more the like, but I don't want to change my shopping habits. Like, I want to have a closet full of 200 items,
Yeah.
And it takes that jump, changing your mentality.
Yeah, it's a commitment, and it's a lifestyle change for sure. But I think it's worth it. And I'm not saying that I'm like great at that kind of stuff. I'm still working on all of that. But the biggest thing that I'm trying to work on is shopping my own closet. I'm not always very good at keeping my clothes organized, and especially since we moved. Like, yes, I know we moved almost a year ago, but I still haven't like unpacked all of my clothes because there's just been so much going on. And so when I feel like I don't have anything to wear, I do try really hard to look at everything I have and see if I can be like creative with it. But I also try really hard to keep the clothes that I feel most comfortable in and like to wear the most frequently. I try to make sure I keep them clean, so they're always available to me. Like, I'm totally that person where I'll wear a sweatshirt for 2 days and then it gets dirty and I'll wash it and wear it again the day after. Like, I'm not really trying to impress anybody in my life. But yeah, just trying to shop what I have. Sometimes I struggle with that just because my body has changed so much. Like, let's see, 4 years ago, I was like the thinnest I had ever been in my adult life. Now I am the heaviest I've ever been in my adult life. And so that limits, what I can do, with what I have. And sometimes I look at the clothes that I don't fit into right now and I'm just like, I hate myself. But then I move on from that because that's the inner critic talking, and we're not going to do that. And that's why I've shifted my focus to more like accessories and realizing that I can make an outfit look more dressed up than it is with a nice pair of shoes and with, cool jewelry. And I'm so grateful that right now, like, the style is very much that. I mean, there's so many different avenues at this point, which I think is awesome. But there's definitely a space for like bike shorts and oversized t-shirts with like a nice pair of boots and jewelry.
Yeah, like when you were saying that that's your style, I was just like, yeah, that's like a ton of people's style right now. Like, because I think comfort really has become king in this day and age with, you know, having those options, but also it's just like, it's pandemic, baby. Like, we are keeping it comfy and casual.
I'm not wearing jeans in the middle of this panini. Who needs it?
That's right. The panorama. Yeah, but I think, like, I guess to wrap this topic up, I think one of the things that we're both saying is it's like, you need to focus on like what's comfortable for you. Again,
we all need to be like my daughter Ruby and dress with abandon. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like,
it's so true. Like, the most inspirational icons are 5-year-olds.
It's true. Dress for the job that you want, not the job you have. And if that means you want to be a freaking fairy, then do it. But
oh my gosh, you say that as I literally have fairy wings in my closet, which was a present. I got that as a present, and I was like, yeah, I can see what you were thinking. I haven't really had an opportunity to wear them, but maybe I should reconsider. Like, you know, that'd be amazing, actually, if I just like walk up into the kitchen and wearing my fairy wings, and my roommates are just like, okay. I'm just like, of course,
we're to the grocery store.
Oh my gosh. It'd be so funny.
I wore like a pair of pretty scandalously short shorts the other day because it was really hot outside. And I wore it with like this men's 4XL t-shirt that was so long on me that like you couldn't see my shorts. And I was just doing my thing, buying the groceries. And this lady walks past me and I see her do a double take. And then I hear her say, "Good Lord." And then she like starts walking away from me. And I'm just like, yes, good Lord. And just kept walking.
This is where we are.
I got thick thighs. You mad about it? Let's fight. It's okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's always going to be some boomers hanging around, you know, just older generation making their judgment.
Boomers.
And, you know, and I don't know. I'm like, I don't know if we're going into this topic, but I just hope that, like, as styles and fashions continue to change, that, like, our generation will be able to be open to, like, whatever comes next. Because I just feel like that's another thing that people get so, you know, going back to the idea of, like, living for other people, I just feel like that is something that so many people do. You know, living for... depending, you know, wearing what they want depending on other people's judgments. And I just think that's dumb.
It is. I do think that it's going to be better. Like, I definitely think that as the generations progress, that, like, I mean, I think that Gen Z gets so much flack, and they really shouldn't. Like,
yeah, who cares?
Living their best lives. They're doing whatever they want to do. They are sharing their opinions. They're not taking people's crap. Like, if everyone did that, the world would be a better place.
Wear your bucket hats and socks with sandals. Like, just do it.
I wear socks with sandals. Okay, don't come for me.
No, I do too. I think it's super fun.
I am a Birkenstocks queen.
Birkenstocks.
Birkenstocks. I have 3 pairs of Birkenstocks right now, and one of them is a sparkly purple pair. And I get compliments on it everywhere I go.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, those ones are great. I know what you're talking about.
And then I have blue ones and brown ones.
Wait, going back to dressing like a 5-year-old, I just want to bring up the brand that I was telling you about. Which is, so this is the company that actually does the strawberry dress, which everyone knows, like, it's been the talk of the town the last.
I don't know if I ever told you this, but I did get the mask that matches the strawberry dress.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Because when they first came out with them, like, they were donating proceeds to charity. And so it was kind of pricey, but I was just like, I mean, I want to support that. And also, like, I want a piece of the strawberry vibes without buying a $400 dress.
Mm-hmm.
So everything they make is so gorgeous. It's called what? Lyrica Matoshi?
Yep, exactly. And I love it because
her sister has another line as well that's also gorgeous.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Let me look it up. I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah, but I love everything because it's so like imaginative and like that brand is like wearing a cloud as a dress. And one of my favorite dresses is the one where it's like got green on the bottom and then it kind of does a gradient up to blue on the top and there's like little clouds on it. So it literally is like a sky with like grass on the bottom. And it's genius.
Yes.
I think I heard someone describe it as like literally what a 5-year-old would draw, but turned into like high fashion gowns.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's my ideal brand.
Yeah. And then, her sister is, I don't know how to say this, Teuta Matoshi, Teuta.
Mm-hmm.
But her dresses
are really pretty.
Yeah.
All these sweetheart gowns.
I really was so tempted to buy one of her dresses for my wedding because she does these beautiful ones with like stars all over them, which is totally my vibe.
Yeah, these are really pretty. Like I love the daisies and the cherries. Oh man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're freaking gorgeous. So like, if I was a millionaire, I would probably just wear stuff like this every day.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest. But
yeah. Well, and as I was like looking at Lyrica's website, I was just like, these are probably a little extravagant, but I feel like it would be worth it to me to like save up and spend on like one, fancy dress that it's like
just to have.
Yeah, and I don't care. Like every single fancy event, that will be what I wear.
Yeah. Well, it was like Tiffany Haddish who bought, I don't know if you've heard of this, but she bought that dress and she wore it like 4 or 5 different times. And she's just like, this is an expensive ass dress. Of course I'm going to wear it more than once. Like, I love that because Hollywood makes all of that feel so inaccessible because they're just like, okay, well now I'm going to wear like a $10,000 outfit for this event and I'm going to change it to another one for this event. And it's just like, why? It is so wasteful. Yeah, there are other people in the world that would appreciate those clothes so much more.
Well, and there are a lot of so there's like a lot of styling that goes on in Hollywood. So I don't know how much of it is wasteful because I think like basically a celebrity, they're like renting an outfit basically for an event. And then they give it back and then somebody else uses it for something else.
That's true.
So in some ways it's not a terrible thing, like a terrible system. But it does give the illusion and gives the pressure to other people to be like, like, first of all, we can't afford personal stylists. If we could, man, would have a hairstylist every day.
Oh my gosh, me too. I struggle so much to do my hair. You froze, so I froze. Yeah, I wear these like banana clips in my hair constantly because then it looks fancy and
yeah, I think it looks good.
I get these off of like Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
I see all these little like Instagram boutique-y things that pop up and they're like, look at these hair clips. And then you like Google it on Amazon and it's like, cool, I can get a pack of 5 for $5 and you want to sell me 1 for $20. And I know Jeff Bezos is evil. I know I shouldn't support Amazon.
Yeah, I'm a little bit like, I don't know about that. Like, I mean, I definitely get what you're saying, but I definitely do tend to land on the like, it is more important to pay for what something is worth than to like every time that I see something that costs so little money, I'm like, whose paycheck was basically $1 a day to make that product, you know?
Yeah. I'm just trying to ball on a budget, Norms.
Yeah. Well, and I do think that there's like, that's something to totally be aware of is like, you know, what works for you. And, you know, obviously like making changes where you can. But, you know, also being cognizant of like what is realistic for your budget.
Yeah. The thing I really want to attempt through the rest of this year, because I just recently kind of started to be more cognizant of my spending and was just like, okay, this is kind of out of control, but also it's like, what are you getting for all of this money that you're flushing down the toilet? Like, what are you really getting for it? And, you know, looping back around to the concept of style and how much I want to have tattoos. I love tattoos because I think the art is so beautiful. I love the concept of having all of these personalized pieces with you always. But also, I am like, you know, is it worth it to spend all this money on, you know, clothes in, you know, through fast fashion that I'm going to grow out of, or it's going to fall apart and I'm only going to get to wear it X amount of times? Or does it make more sense to save my money to give to artists? Because that's, I mean, I will fight anyone who says that tattoos aren't artistry. These people are so insanely talented. And like, that's an industry that I would rather support.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and same, like whether it's tattoos or whether it's, you know, an artist making clothing, right? Like doing something that's high quality, that is, you know, mindful, intentional, and not just like, what can we do to, you know, make a buck, and like using the cheapest fabric possible. Just adding more throwaway clothing that will end up in landfills. Yeah.
I mean, I have been buying some clothes from some smaller businesses recently. I bought a few yoga items from this company called Purusha People. They use fabrics that are, what's the phrasing?
Locally sourced.
Locally sourced, yes, ma'am. They make their fabrics out of like eucalyptus or something. And so I got some of their items, which was definitely kind of the situation where it's a pricier item, but it's because of, you know, the quality, and they're like screen printed by this girl is running the business herself, basically. And then I also recently ordered a piece from the UK. They're called Cosmic Drifters, and they make their own textiles. And then they have all of these different patterns, and you can basically choose the sizing that works best for you, and they make them to order. So I think that's a really cool thing. Oh yeah, and then that shoe brand that I was telling you about, where I got those chunky like platform sandals from, Aloha's. Their attempt at more sustainability is basically they only make what gets ordered. So basically everything you buy is a pre-order. And then, you know, yeah, they only make what gets ordered, so there's not like a bunch of excess.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. And on all three of those instances, like, yes, it is more expensive, but I would rather give my money to people that are like trying to be more conscious than, you know, paying $50 for a t-shirt at Torrid that's going to fall apart in a month.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a challenge. It's especially challenging for plus size people. It's especially challenging if your budget is tight. Like, it's just it's a tough world out there for us big girls.
Yep. Yeah.
So, quality over quantity, I think, is one of the biggest things that we've learned from Dad. he taught me that a long time ago, especially when it comes to shoes.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't buy piece of crap shoes.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I gravitate more towards like Doc Martens. When I buy tennis shoes, I try to buy from brands that I know will last longer. So
yeah, for sure.
But that's really, I think, the most that I have to contribute to the conversation, because my style is pretty bland, and I'm okay with that.
It's evolving.
True. That is very true, because I'm on this like soul searching, trying to kind of figure out where I'm at in life. And I'm really trying to, I think, find my style, and find my style that's not being influenced by what other people expect or think that I should be.
Exactly.
Because I definitely have realized that like a lot of the times I've bent over backwards to try to fit certain molds, and I just don't. I think that's better.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. Better to be yourself, and if you don't know what yourself or how that style looks like, it's okay. I have so many outfits that I look back on and I'm just like, oh my goodness, what was I thinking? But it's like that was a part of my style journey, and yeah, and it will continue to shift and change just like I do.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like I'm pretty well on my way to becoming a hippie. Like things are just getting looser and flowier, and I'm collecting more and more crystals all the time, and I just hang out with my dog and take care of my plants.
Right? It's like you got to do those things. Got to be who you are.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just a weirdo homebody, and I love it.
Yeah, it's a way to be. Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, thanks for talking about brands and style. I'm sure it'll come up again. But...
Oh, for sure.
Love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Nomi Podcast is a grassroots self-made podcast. In addition to our free conversations, we also started a Patreon page at patreon.com/Nomi Podcast. If you want bonus content that may include extra information, memes, and original graphics that correspond to our episodes, you can join for $5 a month. If you just want to contribute to listener support, you can donate through our podcast page on the Anchor website or app at anchor.fm/Nomi-podcast. Thanks for listening to the Nomi Podcast. Okay, I think that's it.